Hello, everyone. So my topic for the persuasion speech is on narcissistic listening and speaking and how it can negatively affect a debate. So right now it's October 2020, and right now in the world, United States, is politics is a big deal right now because the presidential election is coming up. So that's why I did my topic on the persuasion speech. So, narcissistic listening, which was described in chapter 5, talks about how self centered and self absorbed listening, the speaker tries to basically downplay what the other speaker is saying, especially that is commonly used in debates, especially political debates. It's negative because it draws attention away from one speaker because that other speaker is interrupting in a rude way, most likely. So, like, for example, the presidential election debate between Joe Biden and President Donald Trump, whenever the moderator would ask the question to Joe Biden, President Trump would interrupt and basically downplay whatever Joe Biden is saying, and vice versa. It works both ways. The moderator can only do so much. So when in a debate, speakers try to persuade the audience and win them over by speaking to them on topics that they care about and that they supposedly think they can help with it. Speakers in a debate, they usually have different viewpoints on different types of subjects. So like for the political debate, Joe Biden is a Democrat and Donald Trump is a Republican. So they're going to have different viewpoints. And also Mike Pence, which is the Republican Party, and Kamala Harris, which is the Democratic Party. So they're going to have different sides and different viewpoints, and they're going to have different people supporting them. So the goal for the speaker is for the audience to agree with them and their viewpoints to try to win the election based on a point system. So the problem cause solution strategy is useful because it can help with 3 steps to find out what the problem is, how it was caused, and what can solve it. Persuasion is a major part of debates because it's what the speakers generally rely on to gain followers. Along with persuasion, a huge part of the debate is when the speakers participate in the listening notion. So the narcissistic listening and aggressive listening. So aggressive listening is basically they're interrupting. They kind of fall in the same line. Narcissistic listening and aggressive listening. So basically, when you're narcissistic listening and speaking, you interrupt another person for your own gain. So like I said, when Biden would be speaking or Trump would be speaking, the other person would interrupt them. So narcissistic listening and speaking, the way it negatively affects debates, it is because when you're in a debate, you're there because you're trying to gain information. And how are you going to gain information if the speakers aren't letting each other speak? You want to hear both sides of the story, always. Because you can't listen to one person and not listen to another, because then one speaker could say something and another speaker can contradict what they're saying with better information. But how are you going to get that information if you can't hear both sides of the story? So that's a way that narcissistic listening, it's a notion, it's negative, and it affects the debate. The debate is important to us because, of course, the United States election, it is our future. What else? So basically, yeah, when they're trying to gain followers, you want as much information as you can get. So narcissistic listening, it's positive and negative in a way, but it's more towards the negative side. Because the only positive thing that I can see from it is that, yes, you're interrupting, you're also trying to get your point across, because say the other speaker says something that's not true, and so then you can interrupt for that. But mostly in the case of narcissistic listening, it's in a negative way because you're purposely trying to interrupt just for your own gain and just to basically downplay another person's thoughts and information, which again is information that we're going to need. But how are we going to get the information if we can't hear both sides of the story?